the cabman's shelter under the Loop Line railway bridge, after midnight.
One thing I never understand is why they put chairs upside down on the tables in cafes.
To sweep the floor in the morning.
Still feeling a bit poorly.
Oh, the air will do you good. The only thing is to walk. Then you'll feel a different man.
Bloom passes his left arm through Stephen's right and leads him on accordingly.
Yes.
Come.
So they pass on to chatting about music.
Wagnerian music, grand in its way, is a bit too heavy for me. And hard to follow at first go-off. On the whole, I prefer light opera. Don Giovanni. I have a penchant for the Sevilla classical school of Mendelssohn. I take for granted the old favourites.
I don't.
Lionel's air in Marta? Ma Paris. Oh, curiously enough, I heard your father sing it to perfection only yesterday. Do you like...
I prefer Dowland.
Oh.
Shakespeare's songs, William Byrd, Thomas Tompkins, John Bull.
John Bull, is that the political celebrity?
Mind the horse.
Oh, our lives are in peril tonight.
The horse-drawn road sweeper swerves slowly to turn.
Now, what was I saying? Oh, yes, my wife would have the greatest pleasure in making your acquaintance. She's passionately attached to music of any kind.
There's an old German song of Johannes Jeep about the clear sea and the voices of the sirens. Von der serenen Listigkeit tun die Poeten dichten.
What's that?
From the sirens' wiles, poets make poems that they, with their loveliness, do to death many people in the sea.
Oh, and sing it. Please. Beautiful. Tenor voice. Could command its own price. Decided novelty for Dublin's musical world. Could make a capital opening given a backdrop. He'd have heaps of time to practice literature in his spare moments without its clashing with his vocal career, so long as it contains nothing derogatory. He needs to sever his connection with Mulligan, always disparaging him.
The horse, having halted, rears a feathering tail and lets fall 3 smoking globes. His driver waits humanely. Side by side, Bloom and Stephen, stepping over the mire, cross towards Gardner Street Lower. What parallel courses do Bloom and Stephen follow returning?
Starting united, both at walking pace, from Beresford Place they follow Lower and Middle Gardner Streets and Mountjoy Square, west.
Of what do they deliberate during their itinerary?
Music, literature, Ireland, Dublin, Paris.
Friendship, a woman, prostitution, diet,
Jesuit education.
Stephen's collapse.
Does Bloom discover common factors between their respective reactions to experience?
Both are sensitive to artistic impressions musical, in preference to pictorial.
Both prefer a continental to an insular manner of life.
Both profess their disbelief in many orthodox religions.
Both admit the influence of heterosexual magnetism.
Are their views on some points divergent?
I have liquid food enough.
Stephen dissents openly from Bloom's view on the importance of dietary and civic self-help, while Bloom dissents tacitly from Stephen's views on the eternal affirmation of the spirit of man in literature.
7 Eccles Street.
What does Bloom do on their arrival at their destination?
At the house steps, he inserts his hand mechanically into the back pocket of his trousers to obtain his latchkey.
Is it there?
Rocks! It is in the corresponding pocket of his trousers which he had worn on the day but one preceding.
Why is he doubly irritated?
I knew it. Because he has forgotten, and because he remembered that he has reminded himself twice not to forget.
What are the alternatives?
To enter or not to enter?
To knock or not to knock?
Bloom's decision?
A stratagem. Wait a mo. He climbs over the area railings and lowers his body gradually by its length to within 2 feet 10 inches of the area pavement.
Does he fall? Does he remain uninjured?
Are you all right?
He rises, uninjured, raises the latch of the area door, and gains access to the kitchen through the scullery. Lights a match, lights the gas, and a candle.
What discrete succession of images does Stephen meanwhile perceive?
Reclined against the area railings, he perceives through the kitchen panes a man lighting a candle, lighting the gas, removing his boots, and leaving the kitchen holding the candle.
Does the man appear elsewhere?
After a minute, the hall door turns gradually on its hinges.
Come in.
Does Stephen obey?
Yes. Entering softly, he helps close the door and follows softly along the hallway, carefully down 5 steps into the kitchen of Bloom's house.
What does Bloom do?
Extinguishes the candle.
Draws 2 chairs to the hearthstone.
One for Stephen, one for himself. Builds in the grate a pyre of cross-laid sticks and coal on paper. Kindles it.
What does Stephen see on raising his gaze to the height of a yard from the fire towards the opposite wall?
A rope stretched athwart the recess beside the chimney pier, from which hang 4 handkerchiefs and 1 pair ladies' grey hose with lisle suspender tops.
What does Bloom see on the range?
On the right hob, a blue enamelled saucepan. On the left, an iron kettle.
What does Bloom do at the range?
Removes the saucepan to the left hob, carries the kettle to the sink.
Having set the half-filled kettle on the now burning coals, why does he return to the still-flowing tap?
To wash his hands with a partially consumed tablet of lemon-flavoured soap. Do you want to wash your hands?
No, thanks.
What reason does Stephen give for declining Bloom's offer?
I am a hydrophobe.
Hating contact with cold water.
Distrusting aquacities of thought and language.
What impedes Bloom from giving Stephen counsels of hygiene?
The incompatibility of aquacity with the erratic originality of genius.
What seems to the host to be the predominant qualities of his guest?
Confidence in himself, an equal and opposite power of abandonment and recuperation.
What attracts Bloom's attention lying on the apron of the dresser?
4 fragments of 2 lacerated scarlet betting tickets, numbered 887, 886.
What reminiscences temporarily corrugate his brow?
Throwaway, of course. Of coincidences, pre-indicative of the result of the Gold Cup flat handicap, the result of which he has read in the Evening Telegraph in the cabman's shelter.
Where have previous indications of the result been received by him?
When Bantam Lyons requested, perused, and restituted the copy of the Freeman's Journal, which he had been about to throw away.
What qualifying considerations allay his perturbations?
The difficulties of interpretation.
His mood?
He has not risked. He did not expect. He is not disappointed. He is satisfied.
How does Bloom prepare a collation for a Gentile?
He pours into 2 teacups 2 level spoonfuls of Epps soluble cocoa, and serves to his guest the cream ordinarily reserved for the breakfast of his wife, Molly.
Does the guest acknowledge these marks of hospitality?
His attention is directed to them by his host jocosely, and he accepts them seriously as they drink in jocose, serious silence Epps's mass product, the creature cocoa.
Do either openly allude to their racial difference?
Neither.
What are Bloom's thoughts about Stephen's thoughts about Bloom, and Stephen's thoughts about Bloom's thoughts about Stephen?
He thinks
That he thinks,
that he is a Jew,
whereas he knows
that he knows
that he is not.
Do they find their educational careers similar?
dame school, high school.
Preparatory, junior, middle and senior grades of intermediate and through the matriculation, first arts, second arts and arts degree courses of the Royal University.
What proposal does Bloom make to Stephen?
To pass in repose the hours between Thursday and Friday on an extemporized cubicle in the apartment immediately above the kitchen.
What various advantages might result?
For the guest, security of domicile. For the host, rejuvenation of intelligence, vicarious satisfaction. For the hostess, disintegration of obsession, acquisition of correct Italian pronunciation.
Is the proposal of asylum accepted?
Promptly, inexplicably, with amicability, gratefully, it is declined.
What exchange of money takes place between host and guest?
The former returns to the latter a sum of money, £1.7.
What counter-proposals are alternately advanced, accepted, modified, restated in other terms, re-accepted, ratified?
To inaugurate a course of Italian instruction at the residence of the instructed.
To inaugurate a course of vocal instruction at the residence of the instructress.
To inaugurate a series of intellectual dialogues at the Ship Hotel and Tavern.
I need to...
Yes, I also. In the garden, we could...
In what order is an exodus from the kitchen to the garden effected?
Lighted candle borne by Bloom.
Hat on ash plant borne by Stephen.
What does each do at the door?
Sets the candlestick on the floor.
Puts the hat on his head.
For what creature is the door of ingress?
For a cat.
What spectacle confronts them when they emerge from obscurity into the penumbra of the garden?
The heaven tree of stars hung with humid night blue fruit.
With what meditations does Bloom accompany his demonstration to his companion of various constellations?
Of evolution increasingly vaster. Of the moon invisible.
Of the infinite litigious, scintillating, uncondensed Milky Way.
Of Sirius, 10 light-years distant. Of Orion, with belt and nebula, in which 100 of our solar systems could be contained.
Of the parallactic drift of so-called fixed stars. In reality, ever moving from immeasurably remote eons to infinitely remote futures, in comparison with which the years of allotted human life form a parenthesis of infinitesimal brevity.
Which various features of the constellations are in turn considered?
The various colours, their degrees of brilliancy, their magnitudes.
The annular cinctures of Saturn, the condensation of spiral nebulae into suns.
The monthly recurrence known as the new moon with the old moon in her arms. The posited influence of celestial on human bodies.
The appearance of a star of exceeding brilliancy about the period of the birth of William Shakespeare.
And of a star of lesser brilliancy, which appeared about the period of the birth of Leopold Bloom.
Both of them are silent?
Silent.
Each contemplating the other.
Are they indefinitely inactive?
At Stephen's suggestion, first Stephen, then Bloom, in penumbra, urinate.
What celestial sign is by both simultaneously observed?
A star.
A star, precipitated with great velocity across the firmament.
From Vega in the Lyre towards the sign of Leo.
How does the Remainer afford egress to the departer at the garden gate?
By drawing the bolt and pulling inward the obsolescent door.
How do they take leave, one of the other?
Shaking hands, standing at the same door.
Good night.
Good night.
What sound accompanies the union and disunion of their
The
hands?
sound of the peal of the hour of the night by the chime of the bells in the church of St. George.
Alone, what does Bloom hear?
The reverberation of retreating feet.
What does he feel?
The cold of interstellar space. The incipient intimations of proximate dawn.
What prospect inclines him to remain?
The diffusion of daybreak. The apparition of a new solar disk.
Does he remain?
He turns, retraverses the garden, re-enters the house and closes the door. Reassumes the candle, reascends the stairs and enters the front room.
What suddenly arrests his ingress?
His cranium comes into contact with a timber angle.
Describe the alterations in the disposition of the furniture.
Sofa from opposite the door to the ingleside. Walnut sideboard from beside the door to a more perilous position in front of the door. Table placed opposite the door in place of the sofa.
What occupies the position occupied by the sofa?
A vertical piano, supporting a pair of long yellow ladies' gloves, and an emerald ashtray containing a partly consumed cigarette, and 2 discoloured ends of cigarettes. Its music rest, supporting the music of love's old sweet song. Open at the last page.
When seated at the table, what causes him irritation?
Pressure of collar and waistcoat.
How is the irritation allayed?
He removes the collar and unbuttons waistcoat, trousers and shirt.
Reduce Bloom by reverses of misfortune and by elimination of all positive values to a negative unreal quantity.
Poverty, mendicancy, destitution, nadir of misery, the aged, impotent, moribund, lunatic pauper.
By what could such a situation be precluded?
By decease, by departure.
Which, preferably?
The latter.
What considerations render departure not entirely undesirable?
Constant cohabitation. Impending mutual toleration of personal defects. The necessity to counteract the permanence of arrest.
What considerations render it not irrational?
Offspring of Leopold and Molly having been produced and educed to maturity, the parties are obliged to reunite for increase and multiplication, which is absurd. Or to form by reunion the original couple of uniting parties, which is impossible.
What considerations render departure desirable?
The attractive character of certain localities in Ireland and abroad.
In Ireland?
The cliffs of Moher, the windy wilds of Connemara, the lakes of Killarney.
Abroad?
Ceylon, Jerusalem, the holy city, the Parthenon, the forbidden country of Tibet, the Bay of Naples.
Under what guidance?
At sea. By night, the pole star. On land, a bispherical moon, a pillar of cloud by day.
What public advertisement would divulge the occultation of the departed?
£5 reward. Lost, stolen, or strayed from his residence at 7 Eccles Street. Missing gent about 40, answering to the name of Bloom. Leopold, Poldy, height 5 feet 9.5 inches, full build, olive complexion, may have since grown a beard, when last seen was wearing a black suit. Above sum will be paid for information leading to his discovery.
Would the departed ever reappear?
Ever would he wander, self-compelled, to the extreme limit of his cometary orbit, beyond the fixed stars, passing from land to land, among peoples, amid events, after incalculable eons he would return, an estranged avenger, a wreaker of justice on malefactors, a dark crusader, a sleeper awakened, with financial resources surpassing those of Rothschild.
What play of forces render departure undesirable?
The lateness of the hour, the obscurity of night, the proximity of an occupied bed, the anticipation of human warmth.
What past causes of accumulated fatigue does Bloom silently recapitulate?
The preparation of breakfast, premeditative defecation, the bath, the funeral, the advertisement of Alexander Keyes, the unsubstantial lunch, the visit to the museum and National Library, the book hunt along Bedford Row, the music in the Ormond Hotel, the altercation with a truculent troglodyte in Bernard Kiernan's premises, the eroticism produced by female exhibitionism on the seashore, the prolonged delivery of Mrs. Mina Purefoy, the visit to the disorderly house of Mrs. Bellacoin, and subsequent brawl and chance medley, nocturnal perambulation to and from the cabman's shelter.
What enigma does Bloom, rising, not comprehend?
Who was Mackintosh?
What imperfections in a perfect day does Bloom, climbing the stairs, enumerate?
Provisional failure to obtain a renewal of advertisement, to certify presence of rectal orifice in Hellenic female divinities, to obtain admission to the performance of Leia.
What miscellaneous effects of female apparel are perceived by him in the bedroom?
A pair of new, inodorous, half-silk black ladies' hose, a pair of new violet garters, a pair of outsized ladies' drawers of India mull cut on generous lines, redolent of opoponax, jessamine and Turkish cigarettes, a camisole of batiste with thin lace border, all these objects being disposed irregularly on the top of a rectangular trunk.
Bloom's acts.
He removes his remaining articles of clothing, takes from beneath the bolster a long white nightshirt, removes a pillow from the head to the foot of the bed, prepares the bed linen accordingly, and enters the bed.
How?
With circumspection, with solicitude, the springs of the mattress being old, prudently as entering a lair or ambush of lust or adders. Lightly, the less to disturb, irreverently, the bed of conception and of birth, of consummation, of marriage and breach of marriage, of sleep and of death.
What do his limbs encounter?
New, clean bed linen, additional odours, the presence of a female form, the imprint of a male form, not his, some crumbs, some flakes of potted meat, which he removes.
If he smiles, why would he smile?
To reflect that each one who enters imagines himself to be the first to enter, whereas he is always the last term of a preceding series, each imagining himself to be the last only, and whereas he is neither first, nor last, nor only, nor alone, in a series originating in and repeated to infinity.
What are his reflections concerning Hugh E. Blazes Boylan, the last member of this series and late occupant of the bed?
Reflections on his vigour, a bounder, corporal proportion, a bill sticker, commercial ability, a bester, impressionability, a boaster.
With what antagonistic sentiments are his subsequent reflections affected?
Envy, jealousy, abnegation, equanimity.
Envy?
Of a male specially adapted for energetic copulation.
Equanimity?
As natural as any act of nature, as not calamitous, as less reprehensible than theft, cruelty to children, or blackmail, as irreparable.
What retribution?
Duel by combat? No. Divorce? Not yet. Suit for damages? Not impossibly.
By what reflections does he justify his sentiments?
The futility of triumph or protest or vindication. The inanity of extolled virtue. The apathy of the stars.
In what final satisfaction do these reflections converge?
Satisfaction at the ubiquity of adipose anterior and posterior female hemispheres.
What visible signs of satisfaction?
An approximate erection. A tentative revelation, a silent contemplation.
Then?
He kisses the plump, mellow, yellow smellow melons of Molly's rump. On each plump, melonous hemisphere, in their mellow yellow furrow, with obscure, prolonged, melon-smellonous osculation.
What follows this silent action?
Somnolent invocation. Less somnolent recognition.
Poldy?
Incipient excitation. Catechetical interrogation.
What time is it? Where have you been?
With what modifications does the narrator reply?
He omits to mention the clandestine correspondence between Martha Clifford and Henry Flower, and the altercation at Barney Kiernan's. He includes mention of a temporary concussion caused by an after-dinner gymnastic display, the victim being Stephen Dedalus. But he'd already taken a little too much in drink, you see, and lost his balance and tumbled down.
Was the narration otherwise unaltered?
Absolutely.
Which person emerges as the salient point of his narration?
Stephen Dedalus. So I picked him up and dusted him down and brought him back here for a cup of cocoa. No harm done.
What limitations of conjugal rights are perceived by listener during this narration?
By the listener, a limitation of fertility, inasmuch as complete carnal intercourse has last taken place 5 weeks previous to the birth of the second and only male issue. There remains a period of 10 years and 5 months during which carnal intercourse has been incomplete, without ejaculation within the female organ.
What limitations of conjugal rights are perceived by the narrator during this narration?
By the narrator, a limitation of activity, mental and corporal, inasmuch as complete mental intercourse between himself and the listener has not taken place since the puberty of their female issue.
What moves visibly above their invisible thoughts?
The upcast reflection of a lamp and shade, an inconstant series of concentric circles of varying gradations of light and shadow.
In what directions do listener and narrator lie?
Listener, southeast by east. Narrator, northwest by west.
In what state of rest or motion?
Listener, reclined, left hand under head, in the attitude of the goddess Gaia Tellus, fulfilled, recumbent, big with seed. Narrator, reclined, with right and left legs flexed. The child-man, weary. The man-child in the womb.
Womb? Weary?
He rests. He has travelled.
With?
Sinbad the sailor, and Tinbad the tailor, and Jinbad the jailer, and Windbad the whaler, and Nimbad the nailer, and Finbad the failer, and Binbad the baler, and Pinbad the paler, and Minbad the mailer, and Hinbad the hailer, and Rinbad the railer, and Dimbad the caler, and Vinbad the quailer, and Limbad the yailer, and Zinbad the failer.
When?
Going to dark bed, there was a square round. Sinbad the sailor's rocks, orcs, egging the night of the bed, of all the orcs of the rocks of dark and bad. The bright Dela.
Where?
Seven Eccles Street. 2 a.m.
Yes, because he never did a thing like that before, as asked to get his breakfast in bed with a couple of eggs since the City Arms Hotel. He came somewhere, I'm sure by his appetite. Anyway, love it's not, or he'd be off his feed thinking of her. So either it was one of those night women, if it was down there he was really, and the hotel story he made up, a pack of lies to hide it. Hines kept me. Who did I meet? Ah, yes, I met, do you remember Menton? And who else? Who? Let me see. Or else if it's not that, it's some little bitch or other he got in with somewhere or picked up on the sly. If they only knew him as well as I do. Yes, because the day before yesterday he was scribbling something, a letter, when I came into the front room to show him Dignam's death in the paper, and he covered it up with the blotting paper, pretending to be thinking about business. So very probably that was it. All men get a bit like that at his age, especially getting on to 40 he is now. No fool like an old fool. And then the usual kissing my bottom was to hide it. Not that I care 2 straws now who he does it with, though I'd like to find out. So long as I don't have the 2 of them under my nose all the time like that slut Mary we had in Ontario Terrace, padding out her false bottom to excite him, bad enough to get the smell of those painted women off him. He couldn't possibly do without it that long, so he must do it somewhere. And the last time he came on my bottom, when was it? The night Boylan gave my hand a great squeeze going along by the Tolka. I just pressed the back of his like that with my thumb to squeeze back, singing The Young May Moon She's Beaming, Love. Because he has an idea about him and me. He's not such a fool. Though I'm not going to give him the satisfaction in any case. Anyhow, it's done now, once and for all. With all the talk of the world about it people make, it's only the first time. After that, it's just the ordinary. Do it and think no more about it. Why can't you kiss a man without going and marrying him first? Sometimes when you feel that way so nice all over you, you can't help yourself. I wish some man or other would take me sometime when he's there and kiss me in his arms. Oh, there's nothing like a kiss, long and hot down to your soul, almost paralyses you. I wonder, was he satisfied with me? One thing I didn't like, his slapping me behind, going away so familiarly in the hall. Though I laughed, I'm not a horse or an ass, am I? I wonder, is he awake, thinking of me or dreaming? Who gave him that flower he said he bought? He smelt of some kind of drink, not whiskey or stout. After the last time, after we took the port and potted meat, it had a fine, salty taste, yes. Because I felt lovely and tired myself, and fell asleep as sound as a top the moment I popped straight into bed, till that thunder woke me up. God be merciful to us, I thought the heavens were coming down about us to punish us. He must have come 3 or 4 times with that tremendous big red brute of a thing he has. I thought the vein, or whatever the dickens they call it, was going to burst. Like iron, or some kind of a thick crowbar standing all the time. He must have eaten oysters, I think a few dozen. No, I never in all my life felt anyone had one the size of that to make you feel full up. What's the idea making us like that, with a big hole in the middle of us? Or like a stallion driving it up into you? Because that's all they want out of you. With that determined, vicious look in his eye, I had to half shut my eyes. Still, he hasn't such a tremendous amount of spunk in him. When I made him pull out and do it on me, considering how big it is. So much the better in case any of it wasn't washed out properly. The last time I let him finish it in me. Nice invention they made for women, for him to get all the pleasure. But if someone gave them a touch of it themselves, they'd know what I went through with Millie. Supposing I risked having another. Not of him. Though still, if he was married, I'm sure he'd have a fine, strong child. But I don't know, Poldy has more spunk in him. They're all so different. I hope he'll come on Monday, as he said. I thought it was a put-off first, him sending the port and the peaches first. And I was just beginning to yawn with nerves, think he was trying to make a fool of me, when I knew his tat-rat-tat at the door. It must have been a bit late, because it was 3:15 when I saw the 2 Deadless girls coming from school. I threw the penny to that lame sailor for England, home and beauty, and I hadn't even put on my clean shift or powdered myself for a thing. If I could find out whether he likes me. I looked a bit washy, of course, when I looked close in the hand glass. Besides scrooching down on me like that all the time with his big hip bones, he's heavy too with his hairy chest. Always having to lie down for them. Better for him to put it into me from behind. But he was like a perfect devil for a few minutes after he came back with the stop press, tearing up the tickets and swearing blazes because he lost. 20 quid he said he lost over that outsider that won, and half he put on for me on account of Lenihan's tip, cursing him to the lowest pits, that sponger. He was making free with me after the Glencree dinner, coming back that long joult over the Featherbed Mountain. After the Lord Mayor looking at me with his dirty eyes. Oh, Lord, I must stretch myself. I wished he was here, or somebody to let myself go with and come again like that. I feel all fire inside me. Or if I could dream it. When he made me spend the second time, tickling me behind with his finger. I was coming for about 5 minutes with my legs round him. I had to hug him after. Oh, Lord, I wanted to shout out all sorts of things. Fuck or shit or anything at all. Only not to look ugly, or those lines from the strain. Who knows the way he'd take it? You want to feel your way with a man. They're not all like him, thank God. Some of them want you to be so nice about it. I noticed the contrast. He does it and doesn't talk. I gave my eyes that look, with my hair a bit loose from the tumbling, and my tongue between my lips up to him, the savage brute. Thursday, Friday, 1, Saturday 2, Sunday 3. Oh, Lord, I can't wait till Monday. Oh, thanks be to the great God, I got somebody to give me what I badly wanted, to put some heart up into me. You've no chances at all in this place like you used long ago. My goodness, there's nothing else. It's all very fine for them, but as for being a woman, as soon as you're old, they might as well throw you out into the bottom of the ash pit. Mulvey's was the first. He was the first man kissed me under the Moorish wall. Never entered my head what kissing meant till he put his tongue in my mouth. I got him excited. He crushed all the flowers on my bosom he brought me, but it was too short. And the day before he left, May, yes, it was May. I'm always like that in the spring. I'd like a new fellow every year. I had that white blouse on open in the front to encourage him as much as I could without too openly. They were just beginning to be plump. I said I was tired. We lay over the fir tree cove, a wild place. He caressed them outside. They love doing that. It's the roundness. There I was, leaning over him with my white rice straw hat, the left side of my face the best, my blouse open for his last day. He wanted to touch mine with his for a moment, but I wouldn't. How did we finish it off? Yes, oh yes, I pulled him off into my handkerchief, pretending not to be excited, but I opened my legs. I wouldn't let him touch me inside my petticoat. I tormented the life out of him, his eyes shut and a bird flying below us. He was shy. All the same, I liked him like that, moaning. I made him blush a little when I got over him that way. When I unbuttoned him and took his out and drew back the skin, it had a kind of eye in. What was his name? Jack, Joe, Harry Mulvey, was it? Yes. I think a lieutenant. Perhaps he's dead or killed. Or a captain. Or admiral. It's nearly 20 years. I never thought that would be my name. Bloom. When I used to write it in print to see how it looked on a visiting card. Suppose I divorced him. Mrs. Boylan. I hope he's not going to get in with those medicals, leading him astray to imagine he's young again, coming in at 4 a.m. Still, he had the manners not to wake me. What did they find to gabber about all night? Squandering money and getting drunker and drunker. Then he starts giving us his orders for eggs and tea and Findon Haddie and hot buttered toast. I love to hear him falling up the stairs of a morning with the cups rattling on the tray and then play with the cat, now with Millie away. Such an idea for him to send the girl down there to learn to take photographs on account of his grandfather. Only he'd do a thing like that. All the same, on account of me and Boylan, that's why he did it, I'm certain, the way he plots and plans everything out. I couldn't turn round with her in the place lately, unless I bolted the door first. Gave me the fidgets, coming in without knocking first. Get on your nerves. I noticed he was always talking to her lately at the table, explaining things in the paper, and she pretending to understand. Sly, of course, that comes from his side of the house. He can't say I pretend things, can he? I'm too honest, as a matter of fact, and helping her into her coat. But if there was anything wrong with her, it's me she'd tell, not him. I suppose he thinks I'm finished out and laid on the shelf. Well, I'm not, no, nor anything like it. We'll see. We'll see. Well, I hope she'll get someone to dance attendance on her the way I did when she was down with the mumps and her glands swollen. Where's this and where is that? course, she can't feel anything deep yet. I never came properly till I was, 22 or so. Bringing in his friends to entertain them, especially Simon Dedalus' son, that got all those prizes for whatever. Imagine climbing over the railings. If anybody saw him that knew us. I wonder he didn't tear a big hole in his grand funeral trousers. Oh, Jesus, wait. Yes, that thing has come on me. Yes, now wouldn't that afflict you? Of course, all the poking and rooting and ploughing he had up in me. Now what am I to do? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Wouldn't that pester the soul out of a body? Unless he likes it. Some men do. Oh, patience above, it's pouring out of me like the sea. Anyhow, he didn't make me pregnant, as big as he is. I don't want to ruin the clean sheets I just put on. Damn it. Sweets of sin. Whoever suggested that business for women? What between clothes and cooking and children, this damn old bed too, jingling like the dickens. I suppose they could hear us away over the other side of the park, till I suggested to put the quilt on the floor with the pillow under my bottom. I wonder, is it nicer in the day? I think it is. Easy. Oh, where's the chamber gone? Easy. I've a holy horror of its breaking under me after that old commode. I wonder, was I too heavy sitting on his knee? I made him sit on the easy chair purposely. When I took off only my blouse and skirt first in the other room, he was so busy where he oughtn't to be, he never felt me. I bet he never saw a better pair of thighs than that. Look how white they are. The smoothest place is right there between this bit here. How soft, like a peach. Easy. God, I wouldn't mind being a man and get up on a lovely woman. I better not make an all night sitting on this affair. They ought to make chambers a natural size so that a woman could sit on it properly. He kneels down to do it. I suppose there isn't in all creation another man with the habits he has. Look at the way he's sleeping at the foot of the bed. How can he without a hard bolster? It's well he doesn't kick or he might knock out all my teeth. Anyway, where's those napkins? Ah, yes, I know. I hope the old press doesn't creak. Ah, I knew it would. He's sleeping hard. Had a good time somewhere. Still, she must have given him great value for his money. Of course, he has to pay for it from her. Oh, this nuisance of a thing. That's all right for tonight. Now, the lumpy old jingly bed. Wait, there's George's church bells. 3/4. The hour. 1. Wait. 2 o'clock. Well, that's a nice hour of the night for him to be coming home, climbing down into the area. I'll knock him off that little habit tomorrow. I wonder what sort is this Stephen Dedalus. He says he's an author and going to be a university professor of Italian, and I'm to take lessons. What is he driving at now? Showing him my photo. It's not good of me. I ought to have got it taken in drapery. That never looks out of fashion. Still, I look young in it. I wonder he didn't make him a present of it altogether. And me too. After all, why not? I saw him driving down to the Kingsbridge station with his father and mother. I was in mourning. That's 11 years ago now. Yes. He'd be 11. I suppose he's a man now by this time. He's about... Wait. I suppose he's 20 or more. I'm not too old for him if he's 23 or 24. I hope he's not that stuck-up university student sort. No. Otherwise he wouldn't go sitting down in the kitchen with him taking Eps's cocoa and talking. He's very young to be a professor. They all write about some woman in their poetry. Well, I suppose you won't find many like me. I'm sure he's very distinguished. I'd like to meet a man like that. I'm sure it'll be grand if I can only get in with a handsome young poet at my age. Oh, but then what am I going to do about boiling, though? No, that's no way for him. Has he no manners, nor no refinement, nor no nothing in his nature, slapping us behind like that on my bottom because I didn't call him Hugh, the ignoramus that doesn't know poetry from a cabbage? That's what you get for not keeping them in their proper place. Pulling off his shoes and trousers there on the chair before me, so barefaced, without even asking permission, and standing out that vulgar way in the half of a shirt they wear to be admired. It's well for men, all the amount of pleasure they get off a woman's body. We're so round and white for them always. I wished I was one myself for a change. Just to try, with that thing they have swelling up on you so hard, and at the same time so soft when you touch it. I can't help it if I'm young still, can I? It's a wonder I'm not an old shrivelled hag before my time living with him. So cold, never embracing me except sometimes when he's asleep the wrong end of... Nobody understands his cracked ideas but me. Still, of course, a woman wants to be embraced 20 times a day almost to make her look young. No matter by who, so long as to be in love, or loved by somebody, if the fella you want isn't there. Oh, move over your big carcass out of that for the love of Mike. I don't care what anybody says. It'd be much better for the world to be governed by the women in it. You wouldn't see women going and killing one another and slaughtering. When do you ever see women rolling around drunk like they do, or gambling every penny they have and losing it on horses? Yes, because a woman, whatever she does, she knows where to stop. Sure, they wouldn't be in the world at all only for us. They don't know what it is to be a woman and a mother. How could they? Where would they all of them be if they hadn't all a mother to look after them? What I never had. That's why I suppose he's running wild now, out at night, away from his books and studies, and not living at home, on account of the usual rowy house, I suppose. Well, it's a poor case that those that have a fine son like that, they're not satisfied. And I none. Was he not able to make one? It wasn't my fault. That disheartened me altogether. I suppose I oughtn't to have buried him in that little woolly jacket I knitted, crying as I was, but give it to some poor child. But I knew well I'd never have another. Our first death, too, it was. We were never the same since. Oh, I'm not going to think myself into the glooms about that any more. I wonder why he wouldn't stay the night. His poor mother wouldn't like that if she was alive, ruining himself for life, perhaps. Still, it's a lovely hour, so silent. I used to love coming home after dances. The air of the night. They have friends they can talk to. We've none either. I hate that in women. No wonder they treat us the way they do. We are a dreadful lot of bitches. I suppose it's all the troubles we have makes us so snappy. I'm not like that. He could easily have slept in there on the sofa in the other room. I suppose he was as shy as a boy, he being so young, hardly 20, of me in the next room. He'd have heard me on the chamber. Or what harm? Daedalus. I wonder it's like those names in Gibraltar. De la Paz, de la Grazia. They had the devil's queer names there. What a pity he didn't stay. I'm sure the poor fellow was dead tired and wanted a good sleep badly. I could have brought him in his breakfast in bed with a bit of toast. It would be great fun. Supposing he stayed with us. Why not? There's the room upstairs empty and Millie's bed in the back room. He could do his writing and studies at the table in there, and if he wants to read in bed in the morning like me, As he's making the breakfast for one, he can make it for two. I'd love to have a long talk with an intelligent, well-educated person. I'll just give him one more chance. I get up early in the morning. Then I'll throw him up his eggs and tea in the moustache cup she gave him. Then I'll start dressing myself to go out. I put on my best shift and drawers. Let him have a good eyeful out of that to make his Mickey stand for him. I'll let him know if that's what he wanted, that his wife is fucked, yes, and damn well fucked too, up to my neck nearly, not by him 5 or 6 times. Better lower this lamp and try again, so as I can get up early. I'll go to Lamb's there beside Finlayter's and get them to send us some flowers. I love flowers. I'd love to have the whole place swimming in roses. God of heaven, there's nothing like nature. The wild mountains, then the sea and the waves rushing. Then the beautiful country with the fields of oats and wheat and all kinds of things. And all the fine cattle going about. That would do your heart good. To see rivers and lakes and flowers. All sorts of shapes and smells and colours springing, even out of the ditches, primroses and violets. Nature it is. As for them saying there's no God, I wouldn't give a snap of my 2 fingers for all their learning. Why don't they go and create something? I often ask them, atheists or whatever they call themselves. They go howling for the priest and they dying, and why? Why? Because they're afraid of hell on account of their bad conscience. Ah, yes, I know them well. Who was the first person in the universe before there was anybody that made it all? Who? Ah, that they don't know. Neither do I. So there you are. They might as well try to stop the sun from rising tomorrow. The sun shines for you, he said, the day we were lying among the rhododendrons on Hoth Head, in the grey tweed suit and his straw hat. The day I got him to propose to me. Yes, first I gave him the bit of seed cake out of my mouth. And it was leap year like now. Yes, 16 years ago. My God. After that long kiss, I near lost my breath. Yes, he said I was a flower of the mountain. Yes, so we are flowers, all a woman's body. Yes, that was one true thing he said in his life. And the sun shines for you today. Yes, that was why I liked him. Because I saw he understood or felt what a woman is. And I knew I could always get round him. And I gave him all the pleasure I could, leading him on till he asked me to say yes. And I wouldn't answer first, only looked out over the sea and the sky. I was thinking of so many things he didn't know, of Mulvey and father and the sailors and the sentry in front of the governor's house with the thing round his white helmet, poor devil, half roasted, and the Spanish girls laughing in their shawls and their tall combs, and the old castle, thousands of years old, yes, and those handsome Moors all in white and turbans like kings, asking you to sit down in their little bit of a shop, and the night we missed the boat at Algeciras, the watchman going about serene with his lamp, and oh, that awful deep down torrent, oh, and the sea crimson sometimes like fire, and the glorious sunsets, and the fig trees in the Alameda Gardens, yes, and all the queer little streets, and the pink and blue and yellow houses, and the rose gardens, and the jessamine and geraniums and cactuses, And Gibraltar as a girl, where I was a flower of the mountain, yes, when I put the rose in my hair like the Andalusian girls used. Or shall I wear a red? Yes. And how he kissed me under the Moorish wall, and I thought, well, as well him as another. And then I asked him with my eyes to ask again, yes. And then he asked me, would I? Yes, to say yes, my mountain flower. And first I put my arms around him, yes, and drew him down to me so he could feel my breasts all perfume, yes. And his heart was going like mad, and yes, I said, yes, I will, yes.
That was Ulysses by James Joyce, with Andrew Scott, Kevin Traynor, Harry Livingston, Janet Moran and Ronan Raftery. It was produced and directed by Jeremy Mortimer, and the executive producer was Claire Grove.